In today's video, we're going to cover how to have a backup and or smaller guitar rig, either using your smartphone or a tablet. Almost all of us have a smartphone or some sort of tablet today, and technology has gotten so good over the last few years that you can make a backup rig or a smaller rig for quite cheap now, depending on how many features you want to have with the rig. The two things that are required for this rig: one, a smartphone or a tablet with an amp modeling app, and two, an interface to connect your guitar to the smartphone or tablet. Some other optional things you can get but are very helpful: an 1/8 inch to 1/4 inch cable to plug from the tablet into a direct box, a foot controller to change presets, a direct box, an easy to set up wireless, and then an iPhone or tablet mic stand clip. I decided to get this rig for 5 main reasons. One, and the most important reason, to have a backup rig in case your main amp or rig breaks down. I usually gig with either a Line 6 Helix or a Mesa Boogie amp. If either of those go down for whatever reason, I always have a backup rig and I don't have to cancel the show. This also is useful if you have a show where you have a very small amount of stage space, or you need to keep the sound quiet. It's a huge benefit of running direct in general. So say you're playing a private event and the coordinator of the event comes up to you every 5 minutes going, "Can you keep it down? Can you turn down a little more? Can you turn down a little more?" Running direct is very useful and helpful for that reason. Plus, if you have a small stage space, this obviously takes up way less space. Maybe you have a gig where you're flying and you don't want to check your board or your amp. I'm flying in January to a gig and I'm super nervous with the TSA messing with my Helix, which is Velcroed down to my board, so I'm bringing this instead. Also, a gig where you're worried about a bunch of drunk douchebags spilling beer on your main inexpensive rig. We've all been there where the stage is the corner of the bar, and people come up to you with a full beer in their hand. "Can you play some Skinner, bro?" And they're spilling shit all over the place. And the other reason is maybe you have a gig where you just flat out just don't want to haul a lot of gear. We've all been there. It's totally acceptable and understandable. All those are the reasons why I personally got this rig. Alright, for software, there are quite a few options, but the most common ones are the ones by Positive Grid, either Bias Effects or JamUp Pro, or Amplitude by IK Multimedia. I personally use JamUp Pro because Bias Effects is only available on the iPad, and my backup rig is an iPhone 6s. Clearly I have an iPad, I'm using this to demo it because it's easier to see, and I'm using my iPhone to film this video. Also, my iPad is an old iPad 2. My Bluetooth pedal does not actually connect to my iPad, so that's another reason why I use my iPhone. So make sure you do your research to make sure anything that you're going to buy is compatible with your device. Both JamUp and Amplitude have free versions of them with very minimal amps and pedals, so you can try it out. JamUp Pro is $10, Amplitude is $20, Bias Effects is $30, but I've seen them all on sale for things such as Black Friday or Cyber Monday for as low as $5, so make sure you definitely watch for those deals. In each of them, you can buy expansion packs for more amps and effects. I got the JamUp Pro Everything Pack for $25 on Cyber Monday, so it came with everything. So I went with that. JamUp Pro is really easy. This is your signal chain up here. If I want to bring this effect in, slide it down. Want to take it out, now it's not in the chain. If I want to edit it, just tap it, and then move some sliders around. You can set it in a different order. If you want to change something, just double tap. And then, say I'll set it to a tread plate, which is based on the Mesa Boogie. Really easy to edit, and then you can save your presets right here. So you hold it, and then save it. I'm not going to save it to not override this. And then you set your presets. Clean, dirty, lead, overdrive, so on and so forth. Very easy to use. Alright, next up you're going to need an interface to connect your guitar to your iPad or iPhone. The 4 most common ones that I've found are the iRig Pro by IK Multimedia, which I use, the iRig HD or HD2 by IK Multimedia, the Apogee Jam 96K, or the Line 6 Sonic port. There are some other ones too for cheaper, but keep in mind you get what you paid for. Things like the very original iRig that came out, or the really inexpensive ones on Amazon. I've seriously seen some as low as $5 up to $20 for some. Maybe you can use those in practice situations, but performing live, you definitely should get one of the higher end ones, or at least one of the HD ones. You'll get less interference and crackles and stuff like that. Either way, whatever you get, just remember to test it out before performing live with it anyways. Something to keep in mind with whatever interface you get is Apple got rid of the damn headphone jack. I kept my iPhone 6s just for this reason. This won't be a problem for me, but if you have an iPhone 7 or newer, you don't have a headphone jack. The iPad should be fine. I know that they do have adapters to turn the lightning pin into an 1/8 inch jack, but keep in mind that the interface, this right here connects. This is my old iPad, so this connects with the old 30 pin, but it comes with a lightning one as well. You have to plug your interface in through the lightning pin. And I know that they have splitters as well that turn the lightning into a lightning and 1/8 inch adapter, but keep in mind that's a lot of cables and adapters going into cable and adapter, and that's never really a good idea. I use the iRig Pro, but it looks like the iRig HD and HD2 do have a headphone out built into them. Those are meant more for guitar. The thing that I like about this one is it has the multi-input, so you can put in either a guitar, like a 1/4 inch, or keyboards or whatever, and also has a mic input as well. But it looks like the iRig HD and HD2 do have a headphone out built into them, so that might be something that you need to look into if you're using an iPhone 7 or newer. If you use an iPad, like I said, right now you should be safe. This is the absolute bare bone essentials that you need for your small or backup rig. This is really all you need if you don't need to change the tones or your sounds in the middle of the song. Say you're at a jazz or acoustic gig and you just need one clean tone. Or you play metal or hard rock and it's all you need is the distorted rhythm channel. If you want, you can get an iPhone or iPad clip for around $15 to $50 and attach it to a mic stand. This is the one that I use for my iPhone. This clips onto the mic right here, and then the iPhone slides in right here. So you can use that if you want. It's not required. But then you have easier access, and if you do need to change presets, you use your hand. So you'd have to go like this to change to your next channel, which isn't ideal, since as a guitar player, but I mean, you could strum a chord, kind of let it ring out a little longer than you would, then change the preset and go back to playing. It kind of sucks, but you have that option. This is just the minimum that you need. However, I'm going to give you some more options so you don't have to do that. Alright, so the next step you can add to your backup rig is a pedal to switch your presets. The most common ones seem to be the Positive Grid BT4, which is what I have right here. They do also make a BT2 pedal which only has 2 buttons, and then the IK Multimedia Blue Board. The BT4 is about $180, the BT2 is about $99, and the Blue Board is about $99 as well. Again, I've seen all of these go on sale at some point, so be sure to watch for those deals. I would recommend if you have Jam Up or Bias Effects to go with the Positive Grid ones, and if you go with Amplitude, go with the IK Multimedia Blue Board. They're both made by the same company, so they're really easy to configure. This is super easy to configure with Jam Up, since that's the one that I use. I personally went with the 4-button one because I like to have at least 3 tones: my clean, my dirty, my lead, and then some sort of other one. I use this one as an overdrive, but it can also be a trippy effect or a chorus or just some other effect. Again, I'm using my iPhone to film this, so I'm going to switch over really quick to my grainy iPad camera to show you that this does in fact change the presets. So see, it works just fine. Again, make sure, because this is an old iPad 2. iPad 2 does not work with the Bluetooth on this. Make sure that your device does work with this. iPad 2 is pretty old now, so I believe everything after the iPad 2 it does work with, but just be sure to check to make sure your device is compatible with these Bluetooth pedals. Also, one thing else to keep in mind, there is a tiny bit of lag when you switch your presets. I mean, that's just the way it goes with Bluetooth. It doesn't bother me personally, but just remember just to step on the pedal just a tiny bit before you need to change. It is a little bit annoying, but again, this is kind of your backup or smaller rig, so you're kind of making sacrifices. Alright, if you want to take this rig one step further, you can get a simple wireless setup like the X-Vive 2 for $150 or the Line 6 G10 for about $180. Both are really simple. I use the U2 by X-Vive right here. This is the easiest wireless you're ever going to find. This is the transmitter. This is the receiver. Take the receiver, plug that into either your interface or your amp. You can use this with your actual rig too. And then this just plugs into your guitar. Really simple, and then turn it on. There's 4 different channels if you're getting interference. But this is pretty much the easiest wireless that you can get. I've seen the Line 6 G10 be used by many of my friends and seems to work really well. My nice Shure wireless is Velcro to my board next to my Helix, so it's a pain to remove and bring somewhere else, so this is definitely an easier option. Again, you do get what you paid for. The U2 is very nice. It works amazing, probably 9 out of 10 shows, maybe a little bit more. I played a 60,000 person festival without a single dropout with this unit. I also played a bar for like 30 people and I couldn't get the thing to work to save my life. So always have a backup cable either way. I know that most of these types of devices, including the G10 by Line 6, transmit on, I believe, 2.4 gigahertz. Now, I'm not an expert on frequencies, but I believe that's the frequency of Wi-Fi. So if you have a lot of heavy Wi-Fi interference, it can get dropouts. But like I said, a festival of 60,000 people, no problems. but I bought with 30 people and it didn't work at all. There are other ones on Amazon from $100 down to as low as $40. I sure as hell wouldn't trust a $40 wireless live. But I mean, some of those other ones do have some good reviews, not the $40 one. But be sure to read up on any product that you're interested in purchasing. I do recommend the X5U2. Just, again, always have a backup cable. All right, some other things to get just to be safe. Get a 1/4 inch to 1/8 inch cable so you can go from your headphone out into a direct box like this. So 1/4 inch on this side, 1/8 inch on this side. You'd be surprised how many venues do not have this cable. They're not expensive. You can always get a standard instrument cable and then put an adapter to an 1/8 inch on the end, but the less adapters, the better. It's just definitely better to have this. Also, you can get a direct box. This live wire one is like $30. It's worked really well. Most venues that you play at live should have a direct box, but you can also use this for rehearsals as well. Also, don't forget to bring a charger for your phone or tablet. Always charge. I know it sounds obvious, but it's a common mistake, one that I've made myself. So always charge it before the show and during your breaks. So that's basically it. Whether you use this for a backup rig or a smaller rig, I hope that helped you guys out. Be sure to test out any of your gear before you use it, and I hope this video helped you guys out. There are a million demos online for the apps and the interfaces, so be sure to check those out. I'll end this video showing you my 4 patches that I went with. This was all recorded direct with no post effects, EQ, or compression. This is all just straight from the app. Thank you guys for watching. Hope it helped you out.